How's it going, guys? My name is Tavarish, and this is a very good day because I get to hang out with you guys, my favorite kind of people. This is the Friday update where I answer your questions. I let you guys know what I'm doing with my projects and when they're going to be finished, and hopefully they're going to be finished at the same time as my roof is going to be finished because they're making a loud noise. So let's get right into it. So let's start with this. This is my Lamborghini Gallardo Spyder. You guys know it, and you guys have been asking me what I'm doing with this car and when this project is finally going to be completed. Now, there's nobody that wants this project completed more than I do. I really want to see this thing on the road. I want to make sure that this is the car that I meant to buy in the first place. I wanted a car that's a driver. I wanted something that looks really nice, and I wanted something that is decently quick, even for a Lamborghini. So that's why it's gonna be all hands on deck, and I'm gonna be finishing this project within the next week or so. And that means putting this on the back of the car. This is my LP 570 bumper, and this is probably gonna be coming up in Monday or Tuesday's episode, and I really wanna see how this looks, especially with this new rear cowl. And in addition to that, I'm gonna be putting on the Superleggera wing. Now, this is the old Superleggera wing that I had on there when the car was purchased, but I have another wing that I'll show you in a second. But if we take a look around the car, first of all, that ceramic coat and the polishing job that we did, it just looks fantastic. Now, you guys can't see because white is really hard to see reflections on, especially on camera. But if we have lights on it, it looks so wet, it looks so great. I mean, you can probably see how the lights reflect off of it. It's really nice. I mean, this is literally the cleanest car I've ever had in my garage. If we go around to the back, we can see those LP 570 taillights that are wired properly. A few of you have said that one of the lights wasn't working or something. That actually is not the case. I think it was just the angle of the camera. All the lights are working. All 5 turn signals are working. All 3 brake lights and clearance lights are working. And the reverse lights are working. And you can see my little washer job right there. And that's what you need to get these things to work on this car. So a few of you have asked about the air filter and its proximity to the tire. I understand that air filters aren't supposed to be near tires. That is not foreign to me. I definitely don't want water and debris and all that stuff to be hitting my air filter. I do have the mud guards, so I will be putting that in. That's not a problem. That's gonna be just one of the finishing pieces. So I do have all of that, and I don't intend on driving this car. And I do have new air filters because these are really dirty, and these came with a car and I never cleaned them. Maybe I'll even get some horsepower back. I don't think that they're that dirty, but yeah, we'll definitely take care of that. So all this is gonna be buttoned up 100%. A few of you sent me a question regarding the turbo system and why oil is still being burnt, and that has to do with this turbo right here. Some oil is actually escaping past the seals and getting into the turbo system, and you can actually see a little bit of spatter right here. There's just some oil spatter, and it goes past the V-band, and that culminates with some blue smoke coming out of here. Now, I do have a scavenge pump that I'm going to put on the car, but I haven't done that yet because I'm trying to see if I need to do a reservoir system on the bottom of the turbo right here and how much space I have for that, or if I can just do an AN line straight from here into the scavenge pump. So if you guys know anything about that, let me know. This is a dry sump system, so it's not exactly the same as any wet sump system where you might need something like a reservoir underneath the turbo. But that is a minor problem. I'm not too concerned about that. I mean, the worst case scenario is that I just burn a little bit of oil through the turbo, and if, you know, worst case scenario is I just blow a turbo, but I don't think that that's gonna happen. I think the scavenge pump should do its job pretty well, especially because these are ball bearing turbos and they don't require a lot of oil anyway. Also, that rear cover, I am going to be painting it, so I'm not leaving anything to look like it's just a DIY thing. Everything here is just gonna be painted and refinished, and to look like OEM or better, because this is OEM plus. Obviously, Lamborghinis never came with turbos or a lot of gold foil. But if we come around to the top, you can see that the roof is Well, I mean, it's not functional. It hasn't been functional for a while. So I'm gonna get to that, and that is also gonna be coming up this week. I'm gonna try to fix it as well as possible and as cheaply as possible, because I don't have any money for, well, expensive rebuilds of this expensive and complicated system. So what I did is I took the hydraulic lines and I had them rebuilt about a month ago. So hydraulic lines run over there, and I just had them rebuilt. It was about a few $100. So it's a pretty good deal, especially for a car like this that is very boutique and they use very specific one-off hydraulic lines. And hopefully that should be it. I have a method of connecting to the computer. I just have to figure it out. It's called a Lara system, and that is the proprietary dealer level scanner that Lamborghinis come with, at least Lamborghinis of this age. I know that the later models had VCDS, which is just an Audi system, but these had their own thing. So I have that, but I just need to connect it to the computer, and hopefully that all works, and then I can reset the system, and then we should be off to the races. Another thing that people were pointing out is, since I did the LP570 conversion in the back, why didn't I do it to the front? Well, first off, I already have the LP560 bumper, so I don't really need to do any other conversions. However, when people say you should just do the headlights are way more complicated than the taillights. The taillights are basically bolt-on. The headlights, on the other hand, you have to actually do a bunch of welding. And that welding comes in form of this piece. And you can see there's kinks in this. And it almost looks like it's been crashed, but that it hasn't. This is how it is stock, because you can see it's exactly the same on the other side. So on the LP560s and 570s, this bar is moved further inwards, and it's even a different diameter. Everything here is a lot different. So I'd have to get the entire front structure of an LP560 or 570, and then I'd have to get the headlights, make sure they all work, and then I have to get a new hood, possibly new fenders, and that isn't something I really want to do, because at that point it'll cost me 15 grand. And then honestly, I like these headlights. I like the bigger headlight look. They're really, really nice, and especially after that polishing job we did, they're really good. Also, this has a protective film on it, so for those of you asking about that, this definitely does have that, so it protects against rock chips and all that stuff. And on another note, these brake calipers, well, I was gonna do a different color on these brakes. So I wasn't a fan of the blue brakes for a while, and now that I have the car painted and it's nice and clean, honestly, the blue brakes kind of make sense. I like that they are a subtle shade of blue. It's not loud in your face. And honestly, the way they were done pretty quality. I mean, they were powder coated. It looks like they were taken off and rebuilt. And everything there is really durable and really good quality. So I might just keep them like that. My wife tends to like them, and my wife doesn't like any cars that I have. So I think that this is definitely something that I want to keep, at least for the short term. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. So in addition to these parts, I also have the parts that are needed for everything here. This is called the air conveyor. I have these. I bought these brand new, so these were $200 just for a piece of plastic. I have what goes in here from the body shop, which they didn't install, and I asked them not to, just so I can do the final installation on all of that. But the wing is something I want to show you, so let's get to that. And welcome to my nightmare. This is my living room, also my parts depository. And you can see I have tires, I have wheels, I have a bunch of parts for a lot of different projects. But what we're gonna look at is this, and this is the wing, Superleggera wing from a Gallardo. Actually, this is used. It's from a guy that messaged me on Twitter and actually gave me a really good price on it. So I haven't even checked it, to be honest. So I love packing peanuts, but I kind of hate them as well when you have to clean them up. So let's take this out and see what we're working with. Apparently this is in really good shape, but I'm not sure. So, you know, also I can't exactly return this. Oh yeah, that is a Superleggera wing, and it has a few scuff marks on it. It has some stuff that I can likely get out with a polisher. This is not bad at all. Might require some wet sanding, but this is definitely manageable. Carbon fiber seems to be in very good condition. There's no cracks of any kind. And what's really important is that it has all the provisions for both the rear, the third brake light, and also a camera in the back of here, because I'm gonna be putting a camera, the wire goes in here, and then you hook it up right here, so it can work with that Chinese look-alike system that I have in the car, which actually works pretty well. So I can't wait to put this on. This is in way better shape. My other Superleggera wing has this basically missing. This just came right off. I don't know from what, maybe from the fire, maybe from some other malfeasance, but this is definitely a better option. And I have all the hardware and mounts and stuff in here. So this is gonna be coming up in the next week. But for now, I think it's a really good time to answer your questions. I posted a video on Instagram asking you guys for questions and you delivered. So let's go and answer some, shall we? All right, so Super 3 Abood says, what is your favorite V10 car? Easy, Lamborghini Gallardo, or Viper, or BMW M5. No, definitely Gallardo. Viper, M5. Gallardo? It's Gallardo. Definitely Gallardo. Vinny doesn't give a says, how did you react to Ed's idea regarding the Veyron project he mentioned on YouTube? Cheers. So Ed Bolian wanted to buy a Veyron, the cheapest one in the country, the one that was the most haggard and taken apart in the country, the one that actually went into a lake, a saltwater lake, that famous video where the guy says, I'm pretty sure it's the Lambo dude. Yeah, that guy. So that car went up for sale and well, it was $300,000, so it's way out of my budget. I can't afford anything like that. But Ed Bolian, he can finagle some things with finances, and he can probably make it work. But he came to me and he said, would you be able to put this car back together? And I said, listen, I am up for a challenge. I've never worked on a Veyron. I don't think I've ever seen one like really in the wild. I think I've seen one maybe at a car show. But I would have no problem doing this and making videos about it. So that was sort of the deal, because he would say that you can make videos about it, obviously keep all the money that the revenue generates, and then he would keep the car in the end. And for me, that's no problem. I'd love to work on a Veyron and then get to drive it and all that stuff, and then have him have a really nice car at the end that didn't really cost him a lot of money. Relatively, it still is a lot of money. It's more than I paid for my house. So what ended up happening was there was a lot of shadiness in terms of the title and all that stuff, and the back taxes and the people who owned it. So it's really not a car that Ed wanted to do, but there still is hope. I mean, we're still trying to work a few things out. So you may see it on the channel. Maybe there's like a sliver of hope. I mean, I'm not giving you guys any hints. I'm telling you straight like it is, but there is a chance that we might do it, even though right now it doesn't seem very likely, but who knows, fingers crossed. RX Park says, can you make cheapest cars in the USA a series? Like cars nobody wants to try repairing and ones that are unique, such as the Lambo. So I think that's pretty much a series already. I mean, I try to buy all the really cheap cars that I can get, all the really important, iconic cars that I liked as a kid, and now I get to buy them in a really kind of horrid, haphazard state. So that is what I've been doing, but I will be doing something on a second channel that we're calling Wrench Every Day, and that's going to be Art of the Flip, where we buy actually cheap cars. We turn them around for a profit. We're going to do, it's kind of like a Wheeler Dealers thing, but on YouTube and a lower budget. Obviously, we don't have a film crew and all that stuff, but we're going to try to make it as entertaining as possible. It's me and Andrew Howell, and the first car we're going to do is his Mini Cooper, because he can't sell that, so we're going to be demodding it, and it's going to be good. I have a good feeling about this. We're really excited about the project. I think it's going to be really interesting. So you can stay tuned for that. Munib Faruqi says, when is the Ferrari project going to start, and when will it get the original 355 motor? So the Ferrari project, I bought Tyler Hoover's from Hoovy's Garage. I bought his Ferrari F355 Spyder, and it's been in a fiery car wreck. And I talked all about this in my previous Friday video, so you guys can refer to that. I actually covered some of this before, but that project is going to start likely in December, somewhere thereabouts, because I still have to go to Kansas and get the car. So that is, it's gonna be a trek to get over there. I still have to get a trailer. There's a lot of stuff that has to line up before I get that car. And I'm also looking at parts cars. I know that there's one on Copart. A lot of you have sent me the link. So the Copart car is also a 96 355 Spyder, so that is going to be a really good parts car for me, but it depends on if the price is good enough and if I can get it. I think that's in South Carolina, which is not too bad of a drive. I can go over there and get it and then have a parts car. So out of 2 Ferraris, I can get one decent one, I think. So yeah, that is going to be coming up. I'm really excited about that, but I want to get my Lambo done. I want to get the Supra done, which should be a quick build. I want to get the Viper and Bentley done, which also should be relatively quick builds. They don't need a ton of work, and they definitely don't need a lot of custom work like the Lambo did. It's all going to be basically OEM, you know, ordering parts from different manufacturers, different suppliers, and that sort of stuff. But the Ferrari is going to need a lot of custom work because I have some custom ideas for that car because I don't like the Spyder. I think it's better as a hardtop, and also maybe we add a turbo or 2 to the mix. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And the last question is from High Rev Motorworks. What kind of lift would you recommend? I only have about 7 feet of clearance in my garage at the moment. So 7 feet is not a lot. But the lift, I wouldn't recommend any sort of 2-post or 4-post lift, but I would recommend the Quick Jack. Ranger, which is a company that Benpack owns, has a Quick Jack. I have one, and it gives you really good access underneath. You can actually get yourself and a creeper underneath the car and work relatively comfortably. It is portable, so you can put it on your wall when you don't need it. I would recommend a Quick Jack, the 5,000 pound option. They have a step up from that. I think it's like a 7,500 pound option, and you can use it for SUVs and stuff. But the 5,000 pound one is the one you want. It's the one that is the jack of all trades that will go for most cars, and also it's not too heavy that you can't lug it around. I mean, it is still heavy. It's a heavy piece of equipment, but you can lug it around. It has wheels and stuff, so I'd recommend that. It's also relatively inexpensive. I think it's about like 1,200 bucks, but considering that it is a literal car lift, like a hydraulic car lift, then it's basically worth its weight in gold. You know, it gives you a lot of flexibility and freedom to do what you want to do, whether it be tires, suspension, exhaust work, transmission swaps, anything like that. It's really good, and I've used it on my Lamborghini, and it hasn't failed me since. So yeah, that's what I would recommend. All right, guys, so that is it for today's Friday update. Now, I know you guys might have wanted to hear some stuff about my new shop, and there is no news other than I got water. Yay, I can flush the toilet and I can use the sink, but there's no news about that. I have sold my Mercedes S500. I posted that up for sale last week on Instagram, and that went pretty much in 20 minutes. It's crazy how quickly those things happen. But nothing's happening with the shop right now. I'm gathering a lot of companies, a lot of suppliers, a lot of people that are interested in helping me with this project to make an office, to make it the DIY, the ultimate DIY garage that I want it to be. So the electricity is getting hooked up in about, I'd say, 2 or 3 days. So after that, then I'm gonna start to try to get tools over there. I'm gonna start to try to get equipment over there, and maybe we'll start filming over there every once in a while. But we're not gonna start filming there until I have everything set up, until I have the lift and you know, all the equipment that I really want. But I'm super excited about that. Because it's finally going to be a place where I don't have to worry about, you know, making noise or making a mess, or where the cars are going to live, and whether it rains and all that stuff. It's going to be really good, and I hope you're excited. I hope you're as excited as I am. So yeah, you can stay tuned for that. But until next time, thank you for tuning in. And on cars like all of mine, especially my Lamborghini, that will be done in the next week or so, you guys need to wrench every day.